Hey guys, welcome to the new episode of Biblical Facts. Today we will be looking at the life of Tyndale and his sacrifice. Who is Tyndale? Tyndale is the father of the English Bible. William Tyndale was born 100 years after the death of John Wycliffe. Who is John Wycliffe? John Wycliffe was born in the year 1330 in England, and he died in the month of December 1384. He was an English theologian, a philosopher, church reformer, and promoter of the first complete translation of the Bible into English. He was one of the forerunners of the Protestant Reformation. Coming back to the life of Tyndale, he lived in a village in Gloucestershire. He went to the University of Oxford and worked hard at his studies. One day he heard that a great scholar had come to Cambridge University, and he went to listen to him. This man's name was Erasmus, and he came from Holland. He was a scholar of the Greek language, and he was writing the Bible in Greek. It was far better than the old Latin Bible, and soon became very famous. Erasmus wanted everyone to have the Bible in their own language. Tyndale listened eagerly to this great man. If only people could read this fine new Greek Bible in their own language. There were many arguments at the university. One day, Tyndale was talking with a learned man. The scholar said, "We must always obey the Pope and his laws." Tyndale was angry. He replied, "I defy the Pope and his laws." And he said, "If God spares my life, if for many years I will cause a boy who drives the plow to know the Bible better than you do." So Tyndale began the great work. He left Cambridge and went to live in a village in Cotswold Hills and worked on his Bible. But soon it became dangerous. The leaders of the church did not want the people to have a Bible. The priests might betray him, so he went to London to find a quiet home where he could work in secret. A rich cloth merchant heard him preach and asked him to dinner. His name was Monmouth, an alderman of the city of London. Tyndale told him his secret. "Come and live with me," Monmouth said, "and be my chaplain. You can work at your Bible here in peace." Tyndale was very glad to find such a good home. He worked secretly there for many months. Afterwards, Monmouth said, he studied most part of the day and of the night at his book. He lived on simple food and wore plain clothes. Then Tyndale felt it was becoming dangerous in London. Spies were everywhere. He said sadly, "There is no place in all England to translate the New Testament." One night when it was dark, he crept out of the house. He carried a precious parcel under his cloak. He went down to London docks and found a ship. The next day he sailed away from England, never to return. He was in exile because he wanted to give the Bible to English people. Tyndale had friends at Hamburg in Germany, so he went there. He worked hard for a long time, till at last the New Testament was finished. But there were no printers at Hamburg. Printing was a new invention, and only a few men could work the strange printing presses. He went to Cologne, where he found a printer who would print his Bible secretly. They worked at night. His friend printed the sheets one by one, and Tyndale corrected them. Then one day he found that his secret had been discovered. That night a priest came to the printer's house to arrest Tyndale. But he was already on a boat sailing down the River Rhine. He fled to the city of Worms. Here he was safe, for the people of Worms were followers of Martin Luther, who had taught them not to obey the Pope. At last, the printing of the New Testament was finished. 9,000 books were printed in 2 sizes. They were sent secretly to the coast and smuggled into England in bales of cloth. King Henry VIII and his bishops were angry. They ordered that the books should be seized. Many people were tried and punished for having a copy. The books were burnt in public at St. Paul's Cross in London town. Tyndale printed many thousands more. They too were smuggled into England and were sold as fast as they came. Priests kept guard at the docks with the customs officer. They burnt all they found. But Tyndale printed his New Testament in a smaller book, and it was easier to hide. Soon all over England men were reading it. Tyndale was in danger all the time, but he went to Antwerp and started to turn the Old Testament into English. King Henry tried to get him to return to England. Then he was betrayed by a man he had helped. He was put in prison near Brussels, where he was tortured and tried. After some months, he was taken out and burned to death. It was October 6th in the year 1536. His last words were, "O Lord, open the eyes of the King of England." Men could burn his books and his body, but they could not put out the fire Tyndale had lit. In 1539, the king had to give in. A new English Bible was printed, so large that it was called the Great Bible. A copy was to be chained in every church. When King James ordered our Bible to be made in 1611, much of it came from Tyndale's Bible. So when you open your Bible, remember how William Tyndale died to give it to you. Thanks for watching.